New York Knicks have renewed hope once again with the hiring of David Fizdale. Earlier in the week, Coach Fizz stopped by the show. We asked him what type of players he wants on his team. Have a listen.
Yes, indeed. That's today's game, positionless basketball.
But he's got to have an edge to him. I don't want soft guys here. I don't want cupcakes. I want guys that have an edge to them, that enjoy defending, that get joy out of locking teams down, and seeing their teammates succeed.
Okay, so that's the happy. Let's pour some cold water on that, because earlier this week, SNY's Justine Ward tweeted she spoke to Walt Clyde Frazier. He said he doesn't expect Kristaps Porzingis to play at all this season, which is something that James Dolan also hinted at last month. Steven, do you think that the Knicks at this point are hinting at tanking, and do you like the idea?
I hope not, and I don't know how to tank. I don't know how to lose. I won a championship on every level I played at, from YMCA to high school to the NBA to overseas. So tanking is something I don't know how to do. So if you know how to tank, please inform me, because I don't know how to just go out there and lose. Is
just not having Kristaps out there tanking?
That's not tanking.
Not that it's his fault, but the team will suffer as a result.
Well, the unique thing about the Knicks situation is, to me, the word tanking derives from teams not playing their best players in order to lose games when they're healthy. If Porzingis was to be able to return next year, it would probably be in January or February. At that point, their season will be, for all intents and purposes, over. So in this dynamic, it's best for the team not to bring him back at all. Imagine, wouldn't this be something that people say, oh, here the Knicks go again? If he was to come back late in the year when they have 13 wins and he actually gets hurt, then that would set them back so much further. So that, to me, is why he's not going to play next year.
Knicks fan Greeny, he just said 13 wins and didn't flinch. How you feeling about that?
There's nothing about that to argue with. The Knicks without Kristaps Porzingis don't project to be a good team at all. But what you can do is start developing some young players to become eventual good players. And you heard Fizz talking about the style that he wants, and you can start instilling some of that toughness and a little bit of a winning attitude. But Steven Jackson, to go back to what you were saying a moment ago about not knowing how to tank, just make a few calls down to the people in Memphis. They'll tell you all about it. Make some calls out to the people in Phoenix. They'll tell you all about it. It is a scourge. It is genuinely the worst thing that goes on in sports today. And I can't blame the teams for doing it, because it is actually the best way to try and go from being really bad to being really good. And to give credit to the NBA and Adam Silver and his group, they have tried to make some modifications that will not give quite as much of an advantage to teams that finish with the absolute worst records. But until such a time comes in all sports that there is no incentive whatsoever for losing, we're going to continue to see this.
Okay, Greeny, so that's sports talk Greeny on one side. But fan Greeny, do you at least a little bit acknowledge that the tanking idea is somewhat of an appeal?
Yeah, of course. I mean, absolutely. The best thing that can happen to the Knicks. The last really good era of Knicks basketball came about because they got the #1 pick in the draft and they selected Patrick Ewing. And when you have him on your team, you're going to be good for the foreseeable future, and they were. They didn't win a championship, but they were a contender year in and year out, and they made the finals one year and lost a tough series in 7 games. So that is the best way. Yes, of course. Again, they need to change the rule. You can't tell the teams not to do it. And candidly, if Porzingis doesn't play next year, they won't have to try very hard to tank. They're just going to be bad. That's the reality of the situation. And I think every fan of the Knicks recognizes that.
I think what a good answer to that tanking thing is, teams need to be more like San Antonio and do a better job of picking those guys, those diamond in the rough guys that they know that's not coming in the league to be Michael Jordan. But pick like 4 or 5 guys that's coming in the league to make a name for themselves, that you know that's going to compete, that you know that love this game and going to play the game the right way, instead of hiring guys and signing guys that you think are going to be able to compete. Hire the guys that you know they're going to compete, and it's because there's a lot of guys in that second round that can compete that guys are not really looking at. You get more of those guys instead of these first-round guys or these big-name college guys. Get more guys you know that can compete and play hard all the time. Then tanking, you probably could take away that tanking.
So you need an R.C. Buford. We're not even talking about what's happening in the court.
Yes, you need an R.C. Buford.
Better scouting department.
Yes.
And guys that are willing to make that
guys
choice.
that know the game.
Right. Well, that was a different kind of shade, but I liked it.